Game Chat with Bwana episode 80 starting right about now.
Welcome to Game Chat with Bwana, your source for gaming news and reviews. Now, here's Bwana McCall.
It's Game Chat with Bwana. Game Chat with Bwana episode 80 starting right about now. It is August 31st, 2012. We're here at live.bwana.tv and at twitch.tv/Bwana. We try to do this thing every Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And we're kind of on time. Woo! Yeah. Woo! Yeah. Woo! Yeah. Woo! Yeah. Woo. It's Game Chat with Bwana. What we do on Game Chat with Bwana is that we talk about the last 7 days. Wait, did I say 2012? Whoops! Wait. No, it's August 31st, 2013. Here at live.bwana.tv and at twitch.tv/Bwana. Here at Game Chat with Bwana, we do crazy guy. We do this thing here. We talk about the last 7 days of gaming news. And we scour the internet and we try to find the best stories on the web. The best stories. And this week is PAX. And this PAX with news. This week is PAX. This weekend is PAX. PAX Prime at in that there Seattle land over there on the left coast of the United States of America. And that's quite a bit of news coming out of there. There's just gaming companies and gaming news just sprouting forth. But we're not going to be able to talk about it all here. A lot of that's going to spill over into next week's episode, which is going to be action-packed just as good as this one. I tell you what, boy, how did that game chat, boy, the game chat, boy, I tell you. Oh, boy, you guys are awesome. Let's go ahead and get started, y'all. Yeah.
Game Chat with Bwana would not be possible without the support of our corporate partners. Twitch.tv, Wirecast, YouTube, and 123 Systems. Thank you all for your support of Game Chat with Bwana.
Next story, we are going to talk about Infinity Ward. F11. Infinity Ward. And this is a show. No. This is a show. But this is a story I was going to talk about on last show. That was canceled. For various reasons. And I decided to kind of break the rules a little bit. And kind of push it over to this show. Because I really wanted to talk about it. And it's kind of interesting. Kind of interesting because we bash Call of Duty, man. And I'm one of the main ones. I bash the game for their lack of doing things in a certain way. Let's just put it that way. I was a bigger Call of Duty fan. Back when Call of Duty 4 was out. And then when I heard about Modern Warfare 2 coming out, I was stoked. That was the most excited I've ever been about any Call of Duty ever. They changed their policy on Modern Warfare 2 to move from what we had known as dedicated servers that we could rent. You know, we can go to a server provider on the internet and rent all servers and play with our friends, or set up our own map rotation, what have you. They got rid of all of that in Modern Warfare 2. And it was a sad day. Because everything kind of changed from there. Everything got really, really dark and dank and stank in the Call of Duty land. So, since then, we've always been scrutinizing. We've always been on the pessimistic side. I say we when I mean we and a majority of my community. We're a little bit pessimistic when Infinity Ward or anybody at the Call of Duty camp promises something, or they announce a feature or something, because they've been known to lie. That's about the only way I could put it. When they removed dedicated servers in Modern Warfare 2, and that's what we're talking about here, is this idea of dedicated servers. Everybody was upset. There was a big petition. You know, people swore to never play the game, and they didn't. A lot of people didn't play the game, despite what you may read. And then Modern Warfare 3 came around. They was like, all right, we heard your cries. We're going to bring back dedicated servers. Woo! Yeah. 1 week later, for unranked only. And we were just like, oh, what? Wait, did he just... What? It was true. So, now we've kind of... I mean, Modern Warfare 3 was kind of abysmal. Black Ops 2, I've already talked about how I like that one. But this next one, Call of Duty Ghosts, Infinity Ward is now saying they're going to have dedicated servers, not only on PC, but on Xbox One. But they didn't mention PlayStation. We'll come back to that. They didn't mention PlayStation. So, one little minute detail. See, I've been combing through this with a fine-tooth comb, and it has fine teeth. Is that there's no mention of ranked matches. But let's go ahead and talk about the story. Here's a quote from Mr. Rubin, Mark Rubin. He's Infinity Ward's executive producer. He talks about why they didn't have dedicated servers in the past. Why they moved away from that. Says, one of the problems with our game, in a sense, is that we have so many players. I remember that we looked into dedicated servers on console. This didn't explain PC, though. When we were developing Call of Duty 4. And the problem was you could only fit 4 multiplayer games on each server. This is way back when, all right? So you times that by how many games were being played, and it was going to come out to more servers in every data center in the United States. It would have been impossible to do. Server technology, now see, they solved the problem on PC by allowing us to rent servers. So consoles, they really have a choice there. Server technology has improved greatly since Call of Duty 4 was released in 2007, explains Rubin. And the dedicated servers on Call of Duty Ghosts will be powered by Microsoft's Xbox Cloud. Therein lies the PlayStation dilemma. It looks like they have exclusively put these dedicated servers on Microsoft's Xbox Cloud, which in essence will allow PC gamers to play on them as well. I don't know how I feel about that. It's not going to be cross-platform or anything. But you PlayStation guys are going, well, what about us? Exactly. What about PlayStation? We don't know. Here's the rest of the quote. Obviously, the power of the servers grew, and we could fit more and more instances per server, which has helped a bit. And the fact that Microsoft is supporting this huge cloud initiative, dedicated servers make a ton more sense. We'll have scalability, and we're not having to run data centers, which we're not necessarily equipped to do. Having Microsoft to do that is fantastic. So I'm not buying this. I'm not buying these statements. While I might get the game now, because that was my thing with Ghosts, is that if it didn't have dedicated servers, I wasn't going to play it. Because it could have all the great features in the world, and I still wouldn't play it because of lack of dedicated servers. But this, I'm not really buying this statement. Mainly because, like I said, on the PC platform, it was a different story. I mean, the excuses he gave were for console, which kind of makes sense. But for PC, you didn't have scalability problems. You didn't have infrastructure problems on the PC. You offloaded that to the players and to the enthusiasts. And I think Infinity Ward was just too lazy to do it. Because right after Modern Warfare 2, Treyarch came along with Black Ops, and we were allowed to rent servers. So it wasn't. I mean, your brother company did it on the PC, and you didn't. So I don't know. It's this whole article's revolving around consoles, But as PC gamers here at Game Chat with Bwana and in my community at Bwana.tv, we got a lot of PC gamers. We got consolers too, but a lot of PC gamers, and this just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So we're gonna be watching this one a little closely because Infinity Ward they're trying to come out of that negative light, but I'm very pessimistic. I'm never gonna pre-order another game from them. I'm gonna wait till after launch if I buy anything, because I want to see what's actually gonna happen. Check it out, guys. This is over on GameSpot.com. They got the details. Infinity Ward discusses Call of Duty dedicated servers on Xbox and PC. Soapbox over. Now, let's move on and talk about Bethesda. Oh, silly Bwana. You know they're pronounced Bethesda, but they're Bethesda the D, Bethesda the D, because the BDD, that's all, folks. They're Bethesda the D because they're kind of good guys. It's like their bizarro alternate selves. Bethesda meet Bethesda. Hi, hello, Bethesda. Bethesda, they're pushing against Xbox Live gold fees for Elder Scrolls Online. Elder Scrolls Online is Bethesda's new initiative that not everybody, a lot of people are excited about. Basically, they're taking the Elder Scrolls to MMO space. MMORPG with the Elder Scrolls Morrowind Skyrim land of stuff. And the problem, well, this is the reason why they're doing this. Currently, right now, if you were to buy Elder Scrolls on Xbox Live or Xbox One, you would have to pay for the Elder Scrolls Online subscription fee, which would be about $15 a month, on top of the Xbox Live Gold fee. So you'll be hit 2 times in the pocket. This is one of my reasons for not liking the Xbox Live. Now, the whole Xbox infrastructure. Now, they're pushing against it. Here's a quote. He says, this is a marketing boss, Bethesda, marketing boss Peter Hines, that he said they've been seeing whether there's any room to change Microsoft's minds about the fees for folks who are only playing Elder Scrolls Online and don't want to pay for an Xbox Live Gold subscription just to play Elder Scrolls Online. The answer right now is that the way it works, but it's something that we're aware of. We're pushing to see if there's something can be done. And I want to take a little side note. I was watching an interview. We're going to talk about Final Fantasy a little bit later on this show with the producer, Yoshi P. That's what we call him. And he mentioned Xbox. He said that they would love to bring Final Fantasy 14 to the Xbox, but it is a closed, this is what he said, it is a closed environment. And he said that we're not able to use it because the environment, the infrastructure, and the community, if you will, is closed, and it doesn't allow us to bring it over there. We would love to do it, but we can't. And that says a lot, man. If a game developer wants to bring a game to your console, but because of the way you're doing your fees and your multiplayer, they say, nah, we can't do it because it's too close, you might want to re-examine that, Microsoft. I'm not saying do another 180. My goodness, they've been spinning like crazy with the Xbox One. But that's, I mean, for gamers like me, that's why I won't buy an Xbox One. That's the primary reason. I'm telling you, man, Xbox has got some good games, but I can't do that Xbox Live Gold thing. It just doesn't make sense. It is, even though I can afford it monetarily, it just doesn't make sense to waste. To me, it's a waste of money. It really is a waste of money to pay for something like that on top of the services that I'll be using. On top of, I mean, it's just so much money that piles up on that system. So Bethesda feels the same way. Bethesda, they feel the same way. Like, Microsoft, why don't you ease up, man? Why don't you let us bring Elder Scrolls Online over there and waive that Xbox Live requirement just to play our game? They're already paying for the game. So check this story out, guys. This is over on joystick.com. They got the details. Bethesda's counterpart, is pushing against Xbox Live Gold fees for Elder Scrolls Online.
into all things Bwana throughout the week on live.bwana.tv and on twitchtv.com/Bwana.
All right, let's move on to the other guys. Nintendo. Oh, Nintendo. Nintendo has decided to release a Fisher-Price version of the Nintendo 3DS. Apparently, the young kids, 7 and up, weren't enough. They had to get from 7 to 5. From 5 to 7. So, they decided to release a brand new handheld for children's 5 to 7. I'm not making this up. This is kind of a more break-proof 3D-less device that they're marketing towards younger children. And there's a quote in here. I think they put it in this article. Nintendo made it clear to parents that the 3DS is recommended for children 7 years older and up, leading them to market the 2DS to 5 and 6-year-olds as their first handheld gaming device. The lack of 3D to me is kind of a moot point because on the 3DS you can turn 3D off. So that's not even the thing. But it is 2D. It is the same form factor. There's just no clamshell. And we've got this almost like a mini tablet form factor of a gaming device. I'm not saying the thing's not going to sell like hotcakes because there's a lot of 5 to 7-year-olds that play video games. I don't know. But anyway, 2DS is going to be $129. It's going to launch in red and blue models. And like I said, it's not going to be a clamshell model, so it's going to be a lot more robust. It is thicker at the top. It will have a sleep slider instead of the clamshell activating sleep. Also, what else? There is pretty much everything inside. This is not nerfed. It is pretty much a 3DS with the settings of the 3D slider turned all the way down. That is the main difference. The hardware is the same. It does support the same game library of the 3DS and the backwards compatibility that the 3DS offers with the other DS games. So you're not going to be losing anything in terms of power, form, and capability. The only thing is the form factor is the big deal. The form factor is the big change here for those 5 and 6-year-olders. But yeah, another big news. Nintendo also announced the Wii U Deluxe price cut. It's now going to be $299, a $50 price cut. That's what I think this is what this article says. The price cut is going to be on September 20th. There's so many articles for that price cut. This is the one I just picked up. I just want to make sure I got it somewhat accurate. There's going to be a $50 price cut on the Wii U. Makes sense. We're coming up on the holidays very, very fast. Microsoft and Sony are pushing their new consoles. Nintendo's got to come and say, hey, we're still here. We are still here. Let us please be part of this conversation. So check it out, guys. Nintendo has announced the 2DS and also a Wii U Deluxe price cut. This is over on Escapist Magazine. They got the details over there. But wait! There is more. Oh, there is more. All right, Reggie, I'm just going to start out reading the quote. This is what he told IGN. Talking about the competitors' launch titles. It's all about the games. The competitive systems, Microsoft, Sony, have announced their launch lineups. I'm allowed to say meh. Meh. I look at our lineup of titles, and I feel good about our lineup. We've got Zelda, we've got Mario, we've got Donkey Kong. In addition to great titles like Pikmin 3 and Wonderful 101. I feel very good about our lineup, and I feel very good about the value proposition we're putting out there for the consumer. Let us rewind 1 year. Let's go back a year. When the Wii U was first launched. Reggie. It's all about the games, is what you just said, right? Why didn't the Wii U sell? There were no games on it, Reggie. There were no games. Reggie, I look at your system, I look at your Wii U, and I look at your lineup, and I go, I ain't buying that. You've got Mario, you've got Zelda, and you've got Donkey Kong. Reggie, that's the problem. Get something else. He goes on to talk about the cloud system. We've got cloud technology that we're delivering with the Wii U. Nintendo TVE is all cloud-based technology. But the difference is we don't talk about the tech. We talk about the experience. Now, you could have create an avatar on a server and call it cloud technology. That's anyway, this kind of a bump statement. We make sure that the consumer has fun with the game experiences that we provide, and so I think you compare about. I'm not all right, guys. Before the fanboys jump on me, Nintendo does make some decent games, man, but it is about the games, and Nintendo has this problem of rehashing IP into the ground. Fans of the series kinda are getting tired of it. I'm a big Mario fanboy, and I'm sick of Mario every year. Not even every year. Do something new, man. It's crazy that he says we've got Zelda, we've got Mario, we've got Donkey Kong. How can you brag about that? Sure, you've got Zelda. That's like Microsoft saying we've got Halo, we've got Forza, we've got give me another one. I can't even think of anything though. We've got Call of Duty. So, if you go to Microsoft and some of these conferences, they focus on other games, man. Besides those, we know those are coming. We expect Zelda, we expect Mario, we expect Donkey Kong. Give us something we don't expect. Don't throw Kirby in the sewer and make it a new game. Man. It's frustrating because I used to love Nintendo. I'm telling you, man. I used to be all over Nintendo. And they got into this rut, man. It's just all the same thing. Their first party titles and save a Monster Hunter there here and another breakout title there. That was it. You can only play so much Zelda. You can only play so much Mario. You can only play so much Donkey Kong, Reggie. And you guys got to make change. I mean, this attitude, this to me reeks of an arrogant attitude that we're going to talk about Square Enix in a bit. That Square Enix had. That they could just put anything out there and call it Final Fantasy and it would sell. And people would love it. Just because of the name. That kind of arrogant attitude is going to be the undoing of Nintendo if they keep this crap up. You got to do something different, man. And I ain't just talking about the hardware. He said it's all about the games. He said it. I'm not saying this. He said it. It's all about the games. So make some new games. Instead of Zelda 16 and Mario 50,000 and Donkey Kong Country World Province. This was one of the most frustrating quotes I've read in a very, very long time. I think a lot of people felt the same way. Like, did he actually say that? Did he actually, of all people on the planet, did he actually just say that? Anyway, Nintendo's in third place already. In the next gen race, I'm calling it. They're in third place. Quite a drop from first. Sony knows how it is. From being on top to dropping the last. Well, Nintendo, you might want to get used to it. Because with this attitude and what you're doing with the Wii U, to me, has been a colossal blunder so far. Thankfully, we've got the 2DS. Those 5 and 6-year-olds, they'll make up for the difference. Check it out, guys. This is over on PlayStationLifestyle.net. Nintendo of America president on PS4, Xbox launch titles. Meh. We still got our rehash titles. We're good, guys. We're good.
Please support Game Chat with Bwana by turning off your ad blocking software.
It's like he's staring into my mouth. Alright, guys, we're going to talk about Final Fantasy now. Final Fantasy XIV and Realm Reborn was recently launched on October 27th. And it got an insane amount of response. What a lot of people are suspecting is that after their latest beta phase 4, they had this kind of an open beta. It wasn't truly open, but anyone could sign up for the game. And a lot of people got their hands on it, and I think a lot of people pre-ordered it. Many more people than Square Enix anticipated. What happened was, did I say October? I meant to say August. August 27th. I don't know what's wrong with me with dates today. What happened was that the game launched, and the servers filled up. Like, instantly. And they expected beta phase 4 to be sort of a stress test, and it kind of was. We had some problems in beta phase 4. But when we got to early access, which was August 24th, there were newer problems because there were a ton of people. They broke records. I mean, they broke records for the most amount of concurrent players on any Japanese-based game with this game. And this article quotes as being as a overwhelmingly positive response, and but the feedback from the players is mostly negative if you look at the news outlets, because they can't play. And what Square Enix was forced to do was to halt digital sales. We saw this with SWTOR, and I couldn't believe it then, and I still kind of can't believe it now. I think Guild Wars had to do it as well. They had to halt digital sales because of too many players. So, if you're a business person, or if you're working if you're an accountant, I guess, at Square Enix, you're going, you had to stop selling? What company? You had to stop? You mean to tell me there's people that want to buy and you said no? What's wrong with you? You know, I know that's the kind of attitude they have, but they just cannot support any more players. I mean, we were met with a lot of instance-based errors. Like, what happens is that they have this thing called Duty Finder, and it allows players across servers, multiple servers, to group up and do dungeons. That was completely broken. A fatal flaw in their design was that they also made this same system be used for single-player quests. Like, if you just jump into a single-player instance, you had to use the same thing, and it failed. So players couldn't progress through the storyline. They couldn't progress through quests, and it was pretty bad. Since then, things have gotten a little better, mainly because they shut the door. They have halted digital sales. They've also stopped allowing players to create new characters. If you go down the server list, there's like all the characters, all the servers are grayed out. Nope, full, 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 full. And it's like you can only create characters on EU servers, and most of them are closing again, and Japanese servers. So this is one of those quote unquote good types of problems to have. But from a end user perspective, if you bought the game and you can't play, it's kind of frustrating. Now the good news is, if you did buy the game, Yoshi P has went on record at PAX to state that they're going to be offering some compensation time. So I imagine they're probably going to give everybody a free week or maybe a free couple of weeks to make up for this turbulent start. We're expecting them to add more servers, as this article points out. They're expected to add more servers next week sometime. And it's been frustrating for players because they can't play with friends. You know, I play on Gilgamesh, and hardly anybody in my community can join that same server. And it's hard to, once you leave and log out, it's hard to get back on because they literally have a hard stop. It's like, nope, the world's full. You can't get in. It's not even a queue. It's like a tiny queue that you get in. But once that queue fills up, they slam the door in your face. So it's not good from a usability and, you know, just making you feel like a good person type of thing. It's like, oh, you bought this game. You want to play? Nope. Shut the door in your face. But with that said, it's a pretty good launch, monetarily wise. Square Enix is, you know, one of those special cases where most of their stuff is privately funded. So they don't have to answer to shareholders per se for this game. This thing was all privately funded. So they don't, you know, people are, oh, they're going to go free to play in 6 months. That's not happening. It's not that type of company. If you look at Final Fantasy XI, that's been going on for 11 years almost with no free to play. So this is a great thing. I mean, Square they really wanted this game to succeed, which is why they invested so much time into it. 3 years to redo a game. And apparently they did something right. I'm going to try to do a review of this on my YouTube channel. I've been gathering footage, learning what I can about the game. I've been streaming it as well. But they're doing some things right. That's what I can say so far. I don't want to give any premature reviews on it because I haven't got through all the content. But it's a very good first impression. And they're doing some stuff right. Check it out, guys. This is over on PlayStationLifestyle.net. Square Enix has that good problem. Too many people bought the game. We can't support them all, so we got to stop selling it. Stop selling it. What's wrong with you, man? What's wrong with you? All right, for our next story, we're going to talk about Natural Selection 2. This is kind of a shift to a PC-based game. This is a very unique game. It's a mix between an RTS and first-person shooter, kind of like Savage, if you ever played Savage. I've streamed it a few times. I had the developers come in my stream, and I really appreciate those guys coming by. There's a free weekend this weekend for Natural Selection 2, so you can check it out. It pits Marines against aliens. And like I said, it's like a RTS element to it. You can pick one commander, and he has like a top-down view of what's going on. He can give commands. He can tell people to build things here, to repair things and stuff. It's a really cool game. They've recently come out with a pretty big update, which adds a lot of stuff. It adds new weapons, female player models, more tutorials and stuff like that. And they said it cost them about $500,000. Natural Selection 2 and the guys at Unknown Worlds, they're doing something a little bit different. I've never seen this before, actually. They're kind of doing like a Kickstarter after the game's out. You know, what they're doing is that they're asking players for donations to cover the development costs of the updates. Rather than going free to play, I guess that's what some companies would do, just go free to play to fund their update efforts. They're asking players to donate, and an incentive, they're going to give you things like decals on the forums, decals in the games that you can put on your characters, skins, you know, cosmetic stuff that you would typically see in a free-to-play model, but it's optional. They're asking players to donate until they hit that $500,000 mark. It's kind of a tiered system. It goes from like any amount to like $75,000. There's like all kinds of stuff. and you get stuff like the soundtrack as well. So this is a unique situation. I've never seen a company do sort of a cash drive so long after launch. But it's a necessary. I mean, it makes sense. They need money to develop the updates. They want to keep pushing out free updates and not charge for them. So they're asking for money from the community. And they're a good bunch of developers. So I think they're going to get the support they need. They have a really loyal fan base. And I hope that they do succeed. So check the story out, guys. This is over on Rock, Paper, Shotgun. Natural Selections 2 needs cash. Asks the crowd. And for our final story, we're going to talk about some competition. We like to see competition here at Game Chat with Bwana because competition makes things go wow. It makes things go pop. Okay. This is a Android gaming console, and it's competition to the oh yeah. We've talked about the oh yeah here often. Oh yeah has had kind of a bumpy launch. But this is a competition to what they're doing. It's called the GameStick. And it's essentially this. This is the console. It's a HDMI dongle that plugs into your television set or whatever HDMI device, and a controller. It's got that Wii look to it, though. I bet Nintendo's going, This is going to be for $79.99, pretty cheap. And I haven't heard about any games about this yet, though. It is an Android platform, so it's going to be attractive to some developers. Maybe even some of the developers of the who develop on that platform may come over here to this GameStick. Now, they did get some funding from GameStop for this thing, so and you can pre-order it on Amazon and GameStop right now. Like I said, I haven't seen a whole lot of games that have been released on this thing. And like Reggie said, it's all about the games. We've got Zelda. No, let me stop. This is the GameStick. It's an interesting take on Android. Kind of reminds me of a Chromecast, but for gaming. You know, that HDMI dongle there. It's kind of a cool trick to pull off. I mean, you can easily plug it in. You can go to a hotel that has HDMI port and just plug it in. But we'll see. We'll see what games come out for this micro console. Android's really growing, really becoming a very popular platform for a lot of independent developers. And now we see the and this one come out. Hopefully we'll see more come out. So check it out, guys. This is over on joystick.com. The Android micro console GameStick hits retail on September 30th. It's going to be $79.99. Again, you can pre-order it on Amazon and at GameStop.
Do you love Game Chat? Are you looking for a way to show your appreciation? Become a Bwana.tv premium subscriber. Check out the details at Bwana.tv/donate.
All right, guys, that concludes episode 80 of Game Chat with Bwana. I want to thank everybody for coming by today. We had a great time. Woo! Yeah, claps, woo! Snaps and stuff. We're here at live.bwana.tv and the twitch.tv/Bwana. Again, we do this every Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern. You can come by and check us out. Join the chat room. Join the foray. Talk about Reggie and that face. Follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/Bwana or twitter.com/Bwana Live if you wish to be notified if I go live. Also, I'm on Google Plus at google.com/plus Bwana. We're also over here at Twitch, twitch.tv/Bwana. Check us out over here. YouTube.com/ILBuffa is where these posts go. I got a website at Bwana.tv. If you guys have been going there, you notice you've been getting a blank page. Yeah, my site's kind of buggy. I'm trying to fix it. I got to make some time to fix it. I know what's going on. I just got to address it. So the best place to go right now is my YouTube channel if you want to see my podcast. Bwana.tv is kind of on the fritz. Live.Bwana.tv is fine. But head over to youtube.com/ILBuffa. Subscribe there. You'll get all of my content there. And my live content is here over at twitch.tv/Bwana. We're playing Final Fantasy 14, A Realm Reborn. Oh, also, if you guys remember, I polled my I polled my chat room last night, asking them about. I used to do a segment called "What I'm Playing," and I was thinking about bringing that back. Maybe not do it every day, because I tend to play. We'll look at it. But if you guys are interested in me bringing that back, let me know in the comments on YouTube, and I'll get some feedback from you guys if you want to see that come back. We'll try to do that. Kind of a reboot of it. Maybe do a spin on it. Make it a little bit more better and stuff. This is Game Chat Board episode 80, guys. Thanks to everybody for watching. I will see you all next week. Take care. Bye-bye. I will see you all. If I see you, I'm going to see you. See you soon. See you. See you. Bye-bye. See you. See? It's for Cookie. And that's good enough for me.